A very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. This is Sean.
This is Alex.
And this is Sven.
And we are back with a third season. Believe it or not, we made it. As one of our Instagram followers actually told us, he was surprised we made it to a third season. So are we. Oh, wow. We're excited to be back, whether that was a compliment or not. And season 3, here we are.
I don't know if he meant it like that. I think he's
probably
just
meant it
happy
pretty nice
for us. He's just like, you guys have come so far. And I'm like, I know, yeah, we're trying. Thanks for noticing.
We'll bring in a couple of changes to season 3. That's going to include shorter episodes. So if you have a shorter commute, good for you. You now get to listen to our entire episode in one commute, which is probably refreshing. And we're also going to introduce a couple of other new things, and you'll kind of get used to them along the way as we introduce them. Mm-hmm. And then today's topic is very exciting. What better way to look back at our lives prior to COVID and all of our travels than thinking about which parks we really want to visit again. Mm-hmm. And we're all three of us have our own list of 3 parks that we're going to discuss.
So yeah, we're going to take a look at 9 parks that we, the Coaster Kings, really want to revisit based on previous visits, whether it has to do with just loving a park so much that we just can't wait to be back there for atmospheric reasons, or there's some unfinished business. Roller coasters that were closed, roller coasters that have been built since the last visit, and so on. There's lots of ways to answer this revisit a park question, because there's lots of reasons to revisit parks.
Sure. And I think that's why that's such a wonderful topic, because it can really go either way when it comes to
I think for every park that we're mentioning, there's a different combination of reasons that we chose these answers for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And before diving into that, we are going to start off with some of our newest articles on thecoasterkings.com. We had a little bit of a break since the last season, so we've had lots of things we published. One of the main focuses has been, of course, Universal Orlando Resort's brand new intimate coaster, Jurassic World Velocicoaster.
Oh yeah, that's right. Jurassic
That was my attempt to a dinosaur.
That was a dinosaur?
I thought you were just really horny for it.
I thought you were like a fangirl. Oh my god, Velocicoaster!
I don't know, there's something in my voice.
That's me. I'm fangirl.
It's winter in Belgium.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of our most recent articles, we are taking a look at a brand new set of Raptors have been added. So the entrance to the ride, as well as the entrance to the ride's plaza, really, have 4 new Raptor statues / animatronics. We think they're just statues, but who knows with Universal Creative. They could be moving. And then, of course, there are a couple
I'm thinking something
inside.
Along the lines of our dragon in Diagon Alley.
Yeah, maybe some shriek or maybe
static
a beak moving.
To a fault, but move maybe slightly.
If any are going to be moving, I would expect the moving ones to be on the ride, not on the marquee. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. That's really coming together. Landscaping is awesome. The entrance is beautiful. And we actually were on Theme Park Portal, a brand new podcast that already launched by the time you listen to this, where we talked a little bit about Velocicoaster.
Okay.
And one of the main things that we discussed there, which I think is really useful to know for those that aren't following the project really closely, is that Jurassic Park, the land at Islands of Adventure, takes place in Orlando. The whole idea is that Jurassic Park at Islands of Adventure is a sort of satellite park that was added at Universal, so people could go and visit Jurassic Park, even though they didn't have to travel to the big island, right? Mm-hmm. But then Jurassic World takes place actually on Isla Nublar, I think it is. Mm-hmm. The island off Costa Rica. And so in order to not really blend the 2 storylines, the entrance to Jurassic World, which is not its own area really officially, but it's just going to feel like one, it's actually located on the waterfront side, and it's going to be over by the bridge between Jurassic Park and the Lost Continent, bypassing the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So they're really separating the 2 themes, and anywhere where you can see the Jurassic Park area or the Jurassic World ride, the logos do not have any names on them. So the logos are just silhouettes of the dinosaurs, not the word park, not the word world. So they did such an incredible job of connecting all the modern aesthetic and themes and dinosaurs with the old. And even though it's a little bit blending, it works really well because the most crucial parts of the storylines are all separated. And so that's actually something really cool that I think it's a really nerdy aspect you may not really realize without having...
There's a lot to focus on with the project, and Like, even living in Orlando and going to Universal like 3 times a week, like, things are constantly changing. So we're really enjoying having the privilege of focusing on it so intently that we get to see all of these things and pick up on some of these nuances and smaller details.
Yeah. And so we have a lot of articles on the website, usually an update a week at least. Lots of pictures of it in action. We've got a couple of cool long exposure shots on there. So if you want more detail, obviously go visit our website. Another thing that we have been launching lately, almost weekly, has been our Scandinavia series. So I think at this point we're already at 11 articles. So one of our team members, James, in Europe, he goes and talks about all the Scandinavian theme parks in detail, kind of even assistant trip planning. So if you're looking at making a trip, there's a lot of really useful information I wouldn't even necessarily think of putting in articles.
The logistics end of going there, not just why you should go there, but how you can go there.
Yep, and maps, all that good stuff. And another really noteworthy point that I want to make is SeaWorld Orlando had filed permits for a new B&M surf coaster last year. That was meant to be like a 2021 edition, right? Obviously, everything got very, very delayed because of COVID-19. However, our wonderful team member, Nick, is really good with permits, and he found out that the corrections have been filed for that same project called Project Penguin, that the B&M surf coaster is still in production, and once these corrections are approved by the state, construction will start at SeaWorld Orlando for yet another roller coaster just down the street. So for more details, permits, where it's going to be located, a possible new park entrance, all of that can be found on thecoastkings.com. Just either search Project Penguin or scroll down.
I can't believe SeaWorld's going to be a 4 B&M park.
B&M powerhouse.
Surreal.
I mean, you got to do something against Velocicoaster and Tron.
That means,
and Guardians.
And now that means that Busch Gardens Tampa needs another B&M.
I need a B&M wing.
We need a Scarlet Macaw themed wing coaster.
Yes, that would be the dream.
Chanting that forever.
Yeah, like take the one from Chamlong and put it there.
Because I feel like the Macaw is like the Busch Gardens Tampa
Well,
bird,
honestly, you guys think that you need a B&M, but Belgium doesn't even have a B&M. So, sorry, no.
Belgium
the next
is
one needs to come
fine.
here right next
Belgium
to
problems.
the other ones that are coming soon. Like the Ride of Happiness by Tomorrowland.
Exactly. Which is quite a controversy, it turns out, because Tomorrowland is for those who don't know, a big music festival, which is the main. I mean, they do pop-up shops and stuff, but the main
focus,
the main claim to fame really is their big music festival, EDC, hardcore partying all night long, and this is being added to Plopsaland de Panne, which is a very, very family-focused attraction with pretty much only family themes based on family television shows. And so it seems like a really weird contrast. I guess they want to draw in new people, certainly so. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, is it going to scare some people away? Are we going to see a bunch of people at this park now to ride that roller coaster that have no interest in any of the other franchises there? It's a really interesting choice. But I guess we'll have to see how that's going to unfold.
It's... the thing is, though, what the park is communicating is that just wait and see. And there's more to Tomorrowland than other festivals because it's actually almost a theme park on its own. It's very themed stages. And like, if you look up pictures, you'll see how incredible these are. And basically what they are saying, what we're bringing to Plopsaland is not that crazy atmosphere, but it's the theming and
no drug-addled atmosphere for a family amusement park.
And on the topic of the surf coaster, hot news coming in on our phones right now. We are seeing blue B&M track pieces at the manufacturing plant in Ohio, which as of right now, I don't think any other park that uses the manufacturing plant is building B&M. So that may very well be the surf coaster coming to SeaWorld in 2022 earliest. And before we move on, I want to do one more mention of an article that is definitely worth checking out. We have been scoping out some of the Hong Kong news stations, and we have learned that Hong Kong's Ocean Park is going to be retiring 7 major attractions to move to a new business model. This new business model is going to be a free entry to all, and then different vendors and operators selling ride or attraction tickets or whatever they have to offer on that giant park. The park is massive, so I think this is a good move. Like, I would love nothing more than to go in there for free and just walk around. The views are stunning. But it does mean that our beloved Dragon and from what I'm hearing, possibly Mine Train as well. These two magnificent roller coasters will be retired. For more details on what exactly is happening, when they're getting retired, you want to hit up thecoasterkings.com. And anything else you gentlemen want to add?
I think that covers it beautifully.
I think we're ready.
I am
we?
super ready. You know who else is ready? Our Instagram followers, because we actually placed the poll a little late. We placed it this day of our recording.
A couple of hours ago.
But we got a couple of cool responses there.
I like to think that we can reward people's eagerness to answer with their being featured.
Right?
Because, like, if they answered in the first, like, half hour, it's like, oh, wow. Like, okay, these people
You
are,
care.
like, on top of it. So,
You know who really cares? Chris, at Chris_.
all up in ya, 5.
He says that Shanghai Disney is the best park. His reason being.
Yeah. The castle is breathtaking. Tron is really fun. And Pirates of the Caribbean is wow. And we were like,
wow, I agree.
That
is
is pretty
true.
much where we're at.
Correct, Chris. You have won.
I'm not surprised that you picked that one out, guys.
We were delighted that
Well,
somebody...
we wanted to pick answers that actually had like a reason and were more than just your usual Cedar Point answer.
Yeah.
No
There were-
offense, if Cedar Point's your favorite park, totally good for you.
There was a lot of people, more than 50% of the people answered and did not give reasons. So it was easy for us to just be
If you
like,
gave a
okay.
reason, that was a reason for us
If
to
you gave a
feature
reason, then we definitely looked at your answer. And then some of these answers were very concise and articulate, and those were the ones that like we were most excited to feature.
And then our follower Cleo from European Coaster Kings, he's going to introduce us to our main topic today. His favorite park is Portaventura, and he says it's such an amazing atmosphere. They have a great balanced lineup, and they've got 2 of the best coasters in Europe. You can find them at _Cleo_Coasters_. And speaking of Portaventura, what's up, Sven?
Well, how do you know that? Okay, so main topic is what parks do we want to visit soon again? And
Revisit time.
obviously, I could say, okay, Plopsaland and Walibi Belgium, because I have an annual pass for them, and hopefully this year we can visit them, depending on, how things go in the world. But I wanted to pick parks that I was like, okay, they're not really introducing a new ride this year, but I still want to go soon back to those parks. And the first one on the list that I put was Portaventura. And it does have a little bit to do with a new ride that I haven't done there before, and that's the Sesame Street Mission dark ride, which is basically the only dark ride at Portaventura. Because last time that I...
Seems like a legit reason,
Yeah, last time that I went there, I was... Well, it depends on what kind of rides you count as dark rides, but when I talk about dark rides, I really mean like either
A tracked
classic...
dark ride. Yeah.
Yeah, a classic one or interactive, where you have a...
Because they've got like a flying theater and stuff there, right?
Exactly,
But like this is their first track.
And they've got Temple de Fuego, but I guess that's a walkthrough, right? Or a show.
I don't even know what that is.
I count it more as a show. Yeah, Temple de Fuego. I
Yeah,
haven't
it's like
done it
Poseidon, but with
before,
fire.
but
Gotcha.
Universal's like must-have over there.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was last time I went. That was the thing. Like, what I really miss in this park, because that's the boxes that you need to tick off for an actual. I need to be careful with my words though, because I was about to say what a theme park really needs is coasters, water rides, thrill rides, and dark rides. Mm-hmm. And that was the one that was really missing, because they, like Cleo said, there are good coasters. She says 2. Well, obviously Shambhala will be one of them, as it is one of the best coasters in Europe for sure. The other one, I'm curious which one she means, because
That's what I was wondering too.
people may
Yeah, I
say
wonder
Dragon
if it was-
Con, but there are a lot of people that hate Dragon Con now
It
too.
could be
'cause-
Red Forest. It could just kind of be like a lumped together thing. Mm-hmm. I guess we'll have to check
Yeah,
with her.
well, Portaventura is, of course, you have Portaventura World, which is the main park,
Yeah.
and then you have Ferrari Land. So I'm still, from what she wrote, I'm thinking that she only means the main park, And then there's, so Dragon Con, I never had a bad ride on it. I have to admit that in the back it was a lot more intense than in the front. But at the end of the day, it was still a very enjoyable ride. But I've heard other people like, no, that thing is shit.
People say that about Kumba too, which like Kumba is the precursor to that ride in pretty much every way. That's the ride that I would be the most interested in to like visiting Port Aventura for. That's my private.
For me too, because I feel
My-
so. B&M hypers are common. Intimate lounge goes are common, but the B&M sit down is honestly quite
Yeah.
rare. There's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know, 1 in Vietnam, 2 in Florida, 1 in Europe, and
Well-
I think that makes it one of those reasons I would really want to ride it.
Yeah.
But there's another unique ride there, coaster.
Furious
even.
Baco?
Furious Baco. And
If I just heard it, it's pretty
That's-
miserable. But I haven't ridden it.
But then that's again, some people love it, some people hate it. But
Yeah.
for me, I really enjoyed it when I was sitting on the inner seats
Yeah.
and more to the front. That's when,
Almost sounds like the X2 effect, where like inner seats because of the the least amount of
The
balance,
wings
I guess. You know, the wing
flap,
the
you
wing
know.
flapping.
and people
Yeah.
really enjoy the launch for sure. And it's good
Yeah.
theming too. Like it has a little
I've heard
pre-show.
people have told me that they think Furious Baco's launch is better than Red Force's because Furious Baco
Is it hydraulic?
Is a hydraulic launch,
Yeah.
and Red Force is not.
Yeah, and Furious Baco is the Mediterranean area is really nice. It's something different, you know, as a entrance area for a theme park in Europe, and the way that it passes by. Then it's not really reliable in senses
a
of
very
will it
pretty
be open
ride.
though.
Yeah.
Like on slow days, it's usually only open half a day,
Oof.
but
Not terribly surprised.
But makes sense. Checks out Intimate Box.
yeah.
But as a whole, yeah, it's definitely a park. And what I love the most, though, is the resort feeling. Like you book a hotel, which is pretty cheap, and you're there for 3 days, and you can enjoy sangria at night, and then the next morning you're just riding your coasters. And also the other rides, of course, are fun, like the rapid. They have some fun water rides.
They have a log flume intertwined with their Aero Mine Train. That's the other.
Definitely
the,
has some American touches.
I think the
there.
3 rides there that I
Yeah.
care the most about are all
'cause I
opening
think
day
it's
attractions.
Silver Mine, I think, is the lock flume. I'm not sure.
And then the mine train is Diablo. But yeah, the
Oh,
mine
yeah.
train, the B&M sit
Diablo.
down looper, and the log flume are the 3 rides that I care the most about there.
And then
Definitely
there's
They're also
Scream.
the 3 oldest rides.
And then there's the 3 Woodies.
Yeah, they've got their
Yeah.
wooden coaster
Little
triage.
Tomahawk, which I'm already not looking forward to not fitting in
Yeah.
comfortably.
The junior Millennium Flyers. Yeah.
So
So what's
plenty
your,
of reasons to go back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so
For you,
what should I start with? Europe, China, or Japan?
let's start with. Well, we already have one Europe, so how about you start with Japan? Because I'll
Okay.
do my Japan last.
All right. Yeah, Sean and I, when we were coordinating this, it was
Yeah,
by
you guys
pure-
have to coordinate because we
Yeah.
just don't want to overlap.
by
and
pure
give you guys
incident, our
dumb
picks
answers.
were we each had one European park, one Japanese park, and one Chinese park.
No, I have 2. Well, I've got.
Oh, do you have- Oh, that's right.
We'll get there.
Yours is kind of Europe. It
Yeah,
was
okay.
for a while.
Okay, whatever you want to spin it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so my park, the park that I would like to most revisit in Japan would be Fuji-Q Highland. And it's not because we didn't have a great time there. It was just a very soggy, wet day.
It was wet. Like wet.
I really just want to go back to this park because the roller coasters were so phenomenal that as stressful as it was to get on everything, it was incredibly satisfying. And all 4 of their big 4 coasters are very strong. It's the
But
only
the biggest
park.
shock was the fact that we were like literally a couple kilometers from Mount Fuji and we literally couldn't see it.
Yeah, we couldn't see it because
we look at pictures
No.
now,
it
we're
was so
like, it was
overcast.
right there. And
yeah.
we had no
And
clue.
we're like, wow, like Mount
It was
Fuji is
so
really
rainy.
beautiful. So like, I would love to go back to Japan on a good weather day
And actually see the
and
mountain.
Fuji-Q. Like go.
What
Yeah,
time
and
period did you go?
We went in September.
and it was rainier than
I mean, it's
we
after the rain
expected.
season because usually rain,
The
like the
rainy season's
monsoon
like
season
June,
is July. Where like it just rains nonstop.
But yeah, we didn't have the
Yeah.
best luck with weather on the ACE trip, but
No.
we were just fortunate that we got all 4 of the major coasters and we got a re-ride on
We
Fujiyama.
got really lucky because we rode Ijunaika. We were the last train
Yeah.
before it stopped
Yeah.
for rain, and we bought our way on. We
yeah,
like
we
bought
used
fast
the
passes
Zekios,
for it.
whatever they're called. But yeah, I would love to go back to that park again just because I really can't think of another park that has 2 roller coasters that stick out to me quite so dramatically as Ichinaika and Fujiyama. And they've got a lot of other cool rides. I really loved their flying theater, the Fuji Airways flying theater. There's other coasters there that we didn't ride because we just...
Or they weren't open.
Yeah, they weren't open. They used to have a Wild Mouse. They demolished it, so we missed. That was a credit we'll never get because we did not ride the Wild Mouse first.
I think I want to ride Ige again because we rode Danaconda last year, and then we rode X2 shortly after. Again, and like now Ige is one I haven't ridden.
Ige is the only 4D coaster that we only have one ride on. So we rode Danaconda twice, and obviously we have countless rides on X2. So that park.
Building like a viewing platform also on one of the coasters?
The observation deck on the far turnaround. So the observation deck's like almost 200 feet tall, if not more. And it's lovingly festooned by the first turnaround of Fujiyama. And it's just so wonderfully unexpected and unconventional and exactly the kind of thing that motivates me. I'm like, wait, I would go. I already wanted to go back to this park, but I could go back and just probably take pictures up there for like an hour. So I just feel like Fuji Q is so memorable. Sometimes it's memorable for the wrong reason, but I think we had a very fortunate run-in with the park, and I would be happy to do it again. Just to pick a good weather day and roll the dice with the coasters, and whatever happens with the coasters. But at least go on a good weather day, take some nice pictures, get more rides on our favorites if possible, and maybe ride some other stuff there that was down for weather.
And then my first park was actually in this list was actually on the same trip. We went to Hong Kong. And a park that I really want to revisit now is going to be Ocean Park Hong Kong. Of course, we mentioned earlier in the episode that some of our favorite coasters there will be retired because of the new business model, which is one of the reasons I want to go back. Mm-hmm. These rides have a lasting memory for being several hundred feet above the ocean, and like you see just mountains and islands and the South China Sea, and it's by far the most breathtaking park I've ever been to. And so, despite it feeling like it was too big to maintain itself, we still had a fabulous time.
Yeah.
It was unforgettable, and I would like to go back in the current stage and still get on those coasters before they're retired.
Yeah,
because it'll never have that feel back.
You have the Mine Train and Dragon, but
and I don't have Hair
Razor was down. It was damaged by a typhoon.
They actually went the day after typhoon, so we were lucky that anything was even.
It was
open.
a miracle that
there was
the Mine
shrapnel
Train
everywhere.
And,
there was like falling over trees. Like there was a car missing from the ferry. So
and that was actually my first time. We both rode Dragon for the first time because on my first visit to Ocean Park. In 2015, Hair Razor was open, but Dragon was not. So it was such a great day because we were just
and they had some really impressive
Dragon.
animal exhibits, including a new shark exhibit they had just opened.
The shark exhibit was so spectacular.
It went 3 stories down, like a spiral around the exhibit, and it was full of really.
They were doing live feedings while we were there, and
it was super educational. We did this little game, which
very insightful,
which was honestly almost like painful for the heart because you had to do this game against finning,
shark finning, shark fin soup.
So you have to play this digital game,
cultural phenomenon.
And if you lose, then like a bunch of dead sharks drop.
Yeah, like
and
you're a
real,
shark trying
digital.
to avoid being caught by fishermen, and if you lose. You get your fins cut off, and they throw you back in the ocean.
And then at the end, you have to take a picture with your arms crossed.
Arms crossed
against fish. Against
I'm finished
finning.
with fin.
Yeah.
Fins.
Finished with finning or something.
Yeah,
it was pretty dramatic.
And there was like all of these celebrity like testimonies about how they've sworn off of shark fins.
Yeah, okay, I guess that is one of the reasons that I would want to go back.
They had a fabulous jellyfish exhibit too. Like, there's just a lot, and they have all the giant pandas and. When we went, the cable car was down, right?
I would like to do cable car.
So we have to do the cable car.
So there's lots of things I want to rediscover, and honestly, the best part of the park is views. Like if all the rides are closed, I would honestly not even be bothered.
Yeah,
because it is just so breathtaking.
It's just a cultural must for Hong Kong, for the city of Hong Kong. So
that's mine.
Yeah. That's your sort of European one because
like
when Ocean Park was built, it was under British rule. So.
CCP, if you're listening,
okay.
Yeah.
And then before we move on to the next park, we're going to give another shout out. Thomas at Thomas Frost 0404, his favorite park is actually Busch Gardens, Tampa.
He says it has it all. Coasters, animals, restaurants, and good ambiance.
Which reminds me of several parks later.
We love that A word, ambiance.
Ambiance, it's a good word, like atmosphere. Like A word's a good word.
At the end of the day, ambiance and aesthetic. are
Oh my
what
God,
bring
there's
us
three
back.
A words. There's atmosphere, ambiance,
Atmosphere,
and
ambiance,
aesthetic. This is our new tagline. If you get all two qualifications, you're an A
what
plus
we
mark.
That's what we
Approved by
strive.
Coaster Kings.
Coaster Kings approved.
Yeah, we're AAA status.
Another U.S. park was suggested by Aaron at Aaron Hero, who said that Hershey Park, because you can't go wrong with world-class rides and appropriately priced food. And I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because, like, the worst thing is to get overcharged on food. Like, I hate to
Overcharged
pay too
on
much
bad
for
food.
fries.
I'll pay a lot of money for good food.
And Hershey Park's food is good, too.
But Hershey Park Hershey's a food corporation first, so
I feel like a food court first.
a food corporation, a food court first.
It's a food court first,
Interesting.
and then there's Sky Rush.
Everyone who's been to Chocolate World knows that it's just a giant food court.
It really is, though.
And there's nothing wrong with that because the food is good. So the fact, we jump-started a walking taco obsession at Hershey Park because they had like vegetarian meat walking tacos. They have, of course, all of the chocolate everything, milkshakes and cookies
And fun fact,
things.
when you ride the free dark ride at Chocolate World, at the end of the ride, you get free chocolate.
Yeah.
It's like free, like
Hershey
double
Park
free.
is pretty amazing because you could like literally just roll up, pay for parking, go into Chocolate World. You get to
free
ride their
parking
dark ride
for like 2 hours, I think.
Oh, it is
if
it free?
It's
Yeah.
for Chocolate World.
Yeah.
You can literally get like a free ride, free chocolate at Hershey Park.
You could
And free
literally
parking.
show up and have
Oh,
a great
wow.
time and not spend any money by just going to Chocolate World for a couple of hours.
It's called a power move.
It's totally because and the shopping, of course, is magnificent. So yeah, that's such well priced, decent food, and the fact that people like someone bringing that up, like that speaks right to our soul.
Yeah.
Because I hate spending money on garbage.
Aaron,
food.
we love food, so
yeah,
we feel you.
Aaron gets it.
Well,
So, Sven, what's your next park?
My park is not Hershey Park, but it also starts with an
okay.
H. It's Hansa Park.
Love that
beautiful.
connection. Shout out to Sven's transition here.
Wow.
This was not planned.
That was an aerodynamics transition if I've ever seen one.
Well, yeah, so it's Hansa Park, and I think the last time I went was in 2016. So it was the year, if I'm not mistaken, the year after that Karnan had operated for the first year, and they added the theming to the tower. So basically, Schröder's Kernan is already a reason to go to the park. Again, there are some enthusiasts out there that absolutely hate it. But
There are?
then, yeah, oh yeah.
I've heard nothing but universally positive things about Schröder's Kanon.
Why?
was
Why
funny.
do people hate it?
There's one of our followers on the European Coaster Kings. He literally said that he does not know anyone who likes the Schröder's Karnan. And then I was like showing a video of the
Nonsense.
theme park explorers. Hey, they put it on their number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like several people have it incredibly high on their list, and I think you're one of them,
But-
right, Sven?
Yeah, but I think it is a good idea to go with low expectations or no expectations, because then I understand why some people don't like certain aspects of it. I don't want to give too much spoilers, but there is something special going on after the queuing before you ride, and that can be either very annoying or you'll really like it, especially the first time. But there's just so much going on in Hansa Park. They have also, of course, the previous highlight of the park, coaster highlight of the park, which is Flug von Novgorod. So there are people that really enjoy that one more than Kernan. But so that's the Gerstlauer Eurofighter there, and it's still very much loved.
I love that ride.
And that was also a big surprise for me because honestly, I knew a little bit about Kernan, but not much about that one, and that's why I was literally blown away by it.
Did you expect to get your head bashed in, like, on that ride? Because when I rode it, I was expecting Mystery Mine at Dollywood, which I love Mystery Mine at Dollywood, but I thought about it, and I'm like, wow, there's all this indoor stuff, and it's shoulder hard, and I'm like, assuming it's dark in there, I won't be able to brace, but that ride is
It was
smooth
there.
as glass.
God.
So well designed.
Yeah.
You know
And-
what's not smooth? The Eurofighter at American Dream. Check out our next episode as well.
Yeah.
Nice. But But besides those two, there are plenty of other reasons to go. Like there's fun theming. I really liked there was this. How do you call that? It's like a parkour. Can you say that in English?
Okay,
like
like a rope course?
Ropes course?
Yeah.
I did that
in the
there.
air.
It was my first time doing anything like that, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. It was terrifying
I
at some
love
point
that.
because
Yeah.
I wanted to. At the end, there's like a challenging path or the first path that you did, and
Yeah, I remember
I got
that.
stuck a bit there.
Yeah, I didn't do the challenging one. I remember because I'm like, I
did
will
it.
like pull a hamstring and have to go to the doctor. Like,
You know what I'm really excited for? I
was a
haven't been
workout.
yet, but I think Highlander looks like such a cool addition. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow,
And
that's
that's-
a power move.
That's indeed the thing that I haven't done yet since
Yeah.
it wasn't open at that time, obviously. And the retheming of Nessie. I'm
Yes.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Nessie.
The
That was like the
Scottish,
last part of the park that I think
Yeah.
that looked like it really needed some love, and it looks so good now.
Sven, I'm so glad you picked this park because I was thinking about this one too. Because
Yeah, we actually accidentally made a like bucket list park list before we went to the list for the episode because we always get off track. And Hansa Park is on there for us. We're like, we
Yeah.
want to go so bad. So that's
I just
definitely-
remember. I loved the park, and I could have spent more time there. They have three flume rides, like a small,
Yeah.
like a kiddie log flume, a regular sized log flume, and then like this weird like Intamin two across
with the weird bump.
small shoot. It's like somewhere
What
between
fun.
a shoot the chute and a log flume.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so cool. And they've got the giant Vekoma roller skater that threads the Schwarzkopf.
Yeah, theme
like,
to a mine train, but on a budget.
There's a lot of stuff in this park that like mattered to me as an enthusiast, like Schwarzkopfs and flume rides and interesting themes. Even like the kiddie coaster, the Schlanger von Midgard.
Oh, yeah.
That has this like has a whole story, and like you go
goes around
around
twice,
twice,
yeah.
but like there's a mid show. There's like a pre-show and a mid-show.
Like a show on a kiddie coaster. You're like, what?
Yeah, I remember thinking like, wow, this is like really banging. Like Hansa Park just seems to have a really good idea of what will complement their lineup, and like because everything they do just seems to be a perfect fit for them. So
It's
great choice.
also the only Legoland that I've been. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not Legoland anymore, of course.
Yeah, fun fact, because they told us that they were like, we were Legoland, so we were Legoland for a few years, and
It's a hard time matching.
I was
it,
like,
well, what a glow up.
because you would never know. Look, we love Legoland, but yeah, Legoland's not building Schwarzkopf loopers, so
Is
or
that
like hyper coasters.
so? That's not on
you know.
your list, Alex.
No, what's on your list?
Well, it was considered for my list, but the fact that
Okay.
you selected it, I was like, okay, that's great. So for me, the very first park that came to my mind when I was asking myself this question was Liseberg, because I went to Scandinavia 10 years ago. I cannot believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
But 2011, I went on the Scandinavia trip with the American Coaster Enthusiasts. Had a wonderful time, and Liseberg was my favorite park of the trip, without question, without a shadow of a doubt. And Liseberg-Banen, the Log Flume, and Balder, and the River Rapids ride were rides that really stuck out in my mind as just like exceptional,
yeah.
like best in class, the best of their kind, and like they had a walk through haunted house, which is not something I normally do, but the group that I was with, they're like, we have to do the walk through haunted house, and it was so cool, and I was completely in over
Yeah.
my head with that because I had just never even thought of doing something like that before, and I thought to myself that I bet they're not all this nice. Like I bet this is just really amazing because it's at Liseberg, and now. Obviously, this is one of the only parks that I've been to that has added like two major marquee roller coasters since my visit. Helix, of course, and Valkyria. And they've also added some really exciting looking flat rides like their the Zero Star Shape Mechanica. And
Yeah, it was closed
their-
when I was there.
They're giant. Oh, womp womp. Well, that's another reason for you to go back too then.
Oh yeah.
But I've always
Can we
been a
go?
huge fan. This was my number one park for a couple years.
Well, you don't have Helix yet, do you?
No.
No, there you go.
Nope, none of that was. It was surreal. What was brand new when we went was Atmosphere, the drop tower.
Oh,
They did good
I
marketing
love
for
that
that
one.
thing.
It's
Yeah,
so
it was
fun.
really, really stunning. I have the key.
The
I have a
first time
keychain
was
for
terrifying. It was one of
Yeah.
the few rides where I was scared because it's like
Yeah.
so built so high up, and then you're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
it. But like that park has done amazing changes. Like the Ferris wheel, the Gothenburg wheel that used to be in the harbor, when I was there, it was in the harbor, and they purchased the wheel and moved it to the park.
Oh, yeah.
So now they have this big, beautiful Ferris wheel that kind of served as the replacement
air conditioning.
for the observation tower that they turned into a drop tower. They replaced their Intamin, not Intamin. They had two SNS towers. One of them they still have, and it's wrapped around Leesburg-Bahn and Helix. And the other one they replaced with a Gerstlauer Sky Roller, or a Sky Flyer, one of the two. The Gerstlauer, yeah, I think it's a Sky Roller.
The
yeah,
Sky
'cause it's
Roller,
the one,
yeah.
yeah.
But the SNS tower? Oh,
yeah.
You mean the...
So they used
You
to
mean-
have 3 drop towers. They had an SNS Space Shot, an SNS Turbo Drop, and then the new Intamin drop tower that was retrofitted from the observation tower. But the SNS Turbo Drop, I believe, is the one that they replaced with the Sky Roller. And I was like, that was a great upgrade.
But the other
for
one
them.
is gone too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. They have it's not a Sky Squad, but the... I can't think of the name now.
Is it like a Starflyer or something in there?
No,
that
it's
they-
more like a swing.
Like a screaming swing?
Yeah, that's it.
That was there when I went.
Okay.
Upswing
Well,
it? That
one
was
is
there.
Yeah.
That
That was-
swing it.
Upswing it.
That sounds.
I have
That
done
was
it
the
before.
2010
Lovely
edition.
Sweden.
We wrote that. I thought that was such a neat.
I'm gonna rename
Yeah.
the park IKEAberg.
Yeah, upswing it. Yeah, it sounds like an IKEA kids playground equipment. But yeah,
Need a
that
Kiaberg?
park, I really could never say enough nice things about that park, and they seem to have continued to really expand in all of the right directions. Like Kanonen was such a weird one for us. Like I rode it once, and after I rode it, I was like, okay, I don't really have a need to ride that again. And then they built Helix, and then they replaced Kanonen with a dive coaster from B&M. I was like, okay, they know exactly what they're doing. Like they made very smart, calculated choices here with their
Speaking
rides.
of a park that knows exactly what they're doing, my next park is Chamlang Ocean Kingdom, and this is one of those parks that like I have to revisit because it was simply so overwhelming and so incredibly awesome. Those of you who've been listening, reading, doing the Coast of Kings for a minute, that you guys will know that Chamlang Ocean Kingdom
They're
in
the
South
biggest
China
Chamlang
is
Ocean Kingdom
are
cheerleaders
by
in the
far
world.
our favorite park on earth. But that's also why I need to go back. Every inch of the experience was out of this world fantastic, and it was a lot to take in, including the nighttime show and the parades and the dolphin and beluga shows and all the good stuff. And now they're adding a second gate, which is a giant indoor theme park, and they're adding
And the Chimelong Marine Science Park
Yep.
is what is the official title.
and they opened a new hotel, the Marine Science Hotel, which overlooks the bay and the hotel. And the park as well as the original park. And they're building a cable car ride system to a platform on top of the mountain that you can see Macau, Hong Kong, the Zhuhai Macau Hong Kong Bridge. It's just a phenomenal complex.
And that's where the third park is going.
And then the same mountain.
Chimelong Animal Kingdom.
Well, no, that's actually
Or is that different?
that's a different resort located north of Guangzhou.
Are you sure?
Yes, I
Because the
am.
Wikipedia. I need to fix the Wikipedia article then. Because the
Yes.
Wikipedia article says that the third gate for the Chimelong Ocean Kingdom Resort is called Chimelong Animal Kingdom, and it's up in the mountains. But they may be mistaking that moniker with
The new
a different
resort
name.
that's already under construction north of Guangzhou. But yeah, there are plans for like a wooden coaster and stuff in the mountains, and more of a traditional theme park.
They're gonna redo
But we'll have to
OCT
see when that
East,
happens.
but correctly.
And
And
question:
that
that's a
park-
giant ghost resort.
Yeah.
would you go 2 days?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it was one of our mistakes, and we were toying with like, okay, let's go back, because the next day we went to Happy Valley, Shenzhen, which doesn't even deserve to be mentioned, and it sucked so hard that even though we had a really good, cool time exploring OCT East that same day, I kind of in the beginning of the day was like, I really wish I would have just been like, I'm not care for the credits today. I want to go back to Chamlang Ocean Kingdom.
Yeah.
And the thing that on our future itineraries we have made, we have planned 2 days at Chamlang Ocean Kingdom, including a hotel stay on resort, because the hotels there are phenomenal. The largest hotel in mainland China is located at Chamlang Ocean Kingdom. It's the Henking Bay Hotel. They have like dolphins as part of their pool complex. It's just over the top.
Yeah.
It's just over the top. Like China threw money at it, and it's just over the
Chimelong
top.
Group is the only other Chinese theme park entity other than Disney that's really doing this as well as it can be done.
Yeah, and if anyone needs kind of like a reference point,
the public are responding.
Their attendance is higher than Shanghai Disney, so that should tell you exactly what you need to know.
2019 attendance figures, Ocean Kingdom.
I mean, there were
8,
literally ads.
and Shanghai Disney was 9.
There are ads for Chamlang Ocean Kingdom and Chamlang Paradise as you walk through the streets of Shanghai, even though it's like a 2.5-hour flight away.
Everyone in mainland China knows about Chamlang Group,
they played
even
the
if
game
they don't
very
live
well.
anywhere near. So
and they have a product that's something they can be proud of. People from Hong Kong will go there. People from Macau with very high standards, Western ideas, can go to these parks and be like, wow, this is really phenomenal.
It's a sophisticated,
it's where a lot of Chinese parks do not meet the standard of like
product.
Western cultures.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons I need to go back and take it all in again because it was so overwhelming. And we just had the greatest time. Like it's one of those things like you have to come back if you have such a great time, you know? Like you get hooked. Speaking of people that have a great time, the next 2 parks that are listed by our readers or followers, we have Sergi at Sergi_font_pais, who mentioned Phantasialand, which was obviously one that I had considered even putting on the list. And he loves Phantasialand because every ride has something unique. And that's a good point. Like every ride there really is its own story. It is its own area. Like the ride dictates what area it is.
You really can't do anything at Phantasialand. Like there's nothing you can do at Phantasialand that you can do anywhere else.
Exactly. And it's kind of the same for Efteling, which Gregory brought up at Gregory J. Okay, this is hard. Okay, Gregory, his Instagram handle is not going to be mentioned. I'm so sorry. But yeah, he mentioned the Efteling just has the best dark rides ever.
You pronounced his handle correctly earlier. You had to transcribe it to me.
This is a
Gregory
G.
Gregory J.
I think it's supposed to be a G.
ENCHA.
No, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Gregory.
Gregory, we butchered yours, but I'm going to.
Because you told me J.
No, I told you G.
No, you did not.
Well, maybe you should have looked.
You're lying to the entire listening public.
No, I am not lying to the listening public. Yeah, it's a G.
Yeah.
So it's Gregory Grinch, GRIENCHE.
Okay.
Wow, we give him a whole minute.
Yeah.
We give you a whole minute, Greg.
But more
thank you for your
importantly,
Efteling point, which is really, really a phenomenal
their dark ride
as
collection, which is exactly, I think, what
If it weren't for like being an automatic, like have to hit every time we go to the Netherlands, which it is for us, like we cannot be in the country Netherlands and not go to Efteling, then I would be putting on the list. But I just know I'm going to go there. Like it's
That's
not
kind of how we feel about Shanghai Disney too.
You know?
Like we'll always go to Shanghai Disney when we go to China. So there was like. It was almost incidental that we would be revisiting it. Like we didn't pick any Disney parks on our list because it's kind of expected and like everyone knows like you're going to revisit.
I will
Disney
say
parks.
I'm surprised none of our readers or followers put Tokyo Disney Sea in there because I was thinking that's gonna be the first one to kind of pop up because everyone loves that.
There were a couple.
Oh, there were.
Danon did.
As their favorite park,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
makes sense.
Phantasialand and Disney Sea.
Oh, okay, I guess I didn't.
But
see it. Okay.
with my final park, I'm staying in the Netherlands. But I'm not going to Efteling. I'm going to Toverland.
Yay!
Because it was Black Friday and I bought cheap tickets.
Nice. Good for you. I love that that's a thing now in Netherlands and Belgium and stuff.
They have Black Friday
It's
sales.
crazy. It was funny in France. They even moved Black Friday a week because of COVID measures. So it's, it
Sounds
messed up
French.
my things at my work. Anyway, Toverland. Because I haven't been there last year, and actually what I planned to do was to do Halloween at Toverland because yes, it's very busy, but it's getting a lot of praise, and I had just like you, Alex. I'm not a big fan of scare mazes, and yet I pushed myself to decide and say, okay, from I think 2 or 3 years ago, I decided, okay, I'll do a Halloween event every year at a theme park. So I did Walibi Holland.
How was that?
That was the best one so far. And I have to say I was lucky because a very good friend of mine took me along, and we got passes for all the mazes. Except for the most expensive ones.
The clinic or something?
There's the clinic, but there we did a backstage tour, which was incredible. And the Below, I think, was the other one. That's like in the sewers of an area near the park that they had a whole maze that was fun too. But they have a lot of praise for Toverland, and they really use also the Avalon area as a theme, because obviously you have Merlin, but his nemesis is Morgana, the ice witch or whatever, and that's like one of the main characters in the Halloween period. But yeah, I mean, Avalon is reason enough to go back to Toverland. I do hope that they...
So was your last time there with us when we went in 2019?
Yes.
Or 18, 19? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So since then I haven't been, and I hope
love
that they
park.
bring back the Imascore music to Avalon, though.
They took it away?
At some point, yeah, they were like playing regular music, and I was like, what the... Why?
Come on, Toverland, you were finally on the right track.
Mm-hmm. I guess it was an experiment, I guess, but yeah,
Okay.
Toverland.
That
Awesome.
park was on one of my top like return to lists, because once they built Avalon, like I went in 2013, and once they added Avalon, it was like, wow, okay, this park has kind of placed itself in a different category than where it was when I went. Like, and then when I went, and it was like, it felt like a whole new park.
It's so impressive.
Oh yeah,
Like they literally built a
quickly they
second
grew.
gate.
It was super impressive. And now they're talking about building their hotel, which I think is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if it's a two-day destination just yet. But I think
no,
at
not
least
even a full day on a very quiet day.
Yeah, we were done.
The
in
day
12
we went,
hours, and we
it was
rode everything
easy.
several
Yeah.
times. Yeah, because like the location of it feels kind of out there. I definitely feel like we had to travel quite a bit to get there. But
Well,
what's
you
yours
were
next?
just so early.
We were really early.
Really early.
We got there and the parking lot wasn't even open yet, so we just parked and then we
Took
just
some
walked
pictures.
around the farms and stuff. It was very Dutch. It was a cultural experience.
All right, so my third choice, my Chinese park choice was this one. There was a lot of reasons to go back. First and foremost being that I really enjoyed my time there, despite some of the circumstances. But it was the last park on our China trip, Guangzhou Sunac, which we really enjoyed it. Even though we were kind of burned out. Like our trip
we got
was
to this
long.
point where it's like it's park 14,
Yeah.
and it's like day 11, and you get to the point where like some things in China kind of start running together, and it's just tiring. And we just came off the high of doing Chimelong Ocean Kingdom 2 days prior, and then we did OCT East, that big ghost resort, the day prior, and so. Getting to Guangzhou Sunac, it's
It was
much more of a middle
it
tier
was
park.
a little easier to.
But we were just like,
I love the
wasn't-
Sunac parks. Like
you
they
know.
are not as great as they're not as good as Disney or Chimelong Group, but they're definitely better than Happy Valley. So, we had a great day at Wuchi Sunac, and that we had a full day, and I felt like that one, even though there's a coaster there now that wasn't open when we went. The Guangzhou Sunac Park, I feel like, was one that deserved more attention than we were prepared to give it, just because of where it was located on our trip.
And it was hot out, and the park was deserted, and so we got on everything we wanted to get on really quick. But of course, the inverted.
Oh yeah, this is the
yeah,
for
where
those who
could
aren't
people know
aware.
it from? Yeah.
This is the park that has dueling dragons, which is the
Oh, okay.
Intamin.
The full circle shuttle.
Yeah, the full circle
inverted
dueling.
and regular.
the red
And
and,
we
the green
only
one,
the
right?
only the sit down
Yes.
side. Yeah, the red side was open, the green side was not open, which was kind of a recent symptom of how much the park was struggling budgetary wise, because we went on a Saturday in the summer.
We were told go on a Saturday,
and it was
because that's the only
beautiful
time they'll
weather,
raise, and it still never raised.
but the park was completely deserted.
In fact, we were there the last month prior to them switching to a free admission model.
Yeah, they
because
switched
just
to a
couldn't pay the
pay per
bills.
ride model because they were struggling so bad with attendance. So
It definitely didn't help that there was no metro stop.
as
yet.
much as we were frustrated with like missing the launched invert, we were like, well, like to be real with you, like we really just feel for the park, like we sympathize with their operational woes, and we just want whatever they need to do to succeed. Like we support them. So we look forward to going back. Yeah, because the metro station was under construction. They have a beautiful Wanda shopping mall
Actually, it's a
right
Sunac
next.
Mall.
Oh, is it a Sunac mall?
Yeah.
It was the was the one next to Wuchi a Wanda Mall, or was it just the
Also
movie
Sunac.
theater?
The movie
It was
theater
Wanda.
was
Yeah.
Wanda.
So like I think the park was so new. I mean, it was only it was like 3.5 months old, and it was just it was kind of getting a rolling start. And I feel like when we go back, it will be nice
And,
to go again.
Well, yeah, another reason to go back is the fact that they're going to be opening up a Forbidden Journey style dark ride.
Yeah.
Called
Havoc in Heaven. And they also have a flume ride that we found out after the fact was like a water coaster.
Like a Golden Horse knockoff of a Max Super Splash.
And Roller Coaster Database added it to their database after we had left. And we're like, oh, okay, because there's all the coaster tracks inside.
Yeah, so we just saw like a flume. And
we were going to fly. We didn't do any of the water rides because we were about to catch a flight. The airport, the Guangzhou Canton Airport is right next to the park. So it's also really convenient. We thought about it, and I'm like, hitting this park again would not be hard. Like,
definitely good for like
you could budget a layover in the Canton Airport and hit the park and be done in like 2 or 3 hours. This park also has our favorite flying theater, fly over Guangdong.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of stuff that was memorable that we loved. I mean, the side of Dueling Dragons that we rode was awesome. Because it was just like a really fabulous, like abridged version of Maverick.
I think the main reason still is that we just didn't give the park a chance, but not enough of a chance.
Yeah.
Like at one point, honestly, like we had kind of seen it. It was hot. We were tired, really tired. You know, day 11.
We left early and we went to Starbucks.
And we just sat at Starbucks across the street
had a
for like 2
pastry.
hours and had like coffee.
Because we were just burned out. But then in retrospect, the park sticks out to me in retrospect because there was aspects of it that I really did enjoy. They have the BSA suspended family coaster that's a knockoff of the MacArthur ride system. Like I really enjoyed that ride. So really, they have there's 2 credits that are on the table for us if we go back there, if we're lucky and we get back there and the invert is open. And it was just a likable park.
We love the region.
It was an enjoyable park, and I would like to give them more time.
Guangzhou really is the biggest city never heard of. We really like the region.
And where is it exactly in China?
So Guangzhou is in southeast China, which is located, it's the province, the Guangdong province, borders Macau and Hong Kong. So, like, this is the same province where Chaoming Ocean Kingdom is.
Guangzhou and Shenzhen make up a single megalopolis, is what they call it.
It's a giant region because then
it's one of the largest, most highly populated
because Hong Kong is super highly populated too, so that's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all just pretty much like one giant developed area.
And
there's
I think
not really any dead
part of
space.
Guangzhou Sunak's problem, in addition to other issues with like getting the ball rolling with that park, was also that Chimelong Group is based in Guangzhou, and Chimelong Paradise is in the center of the city, has outstanding attendance. The Chimelong Water Park is the most attended water park in the world. And then they have Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, which is all the way at the southernmost bit of the Guangdong province. So there's already a highly established theme park dynasty in Guangzhou alone. They're based and only located in Guangzhou with fabulous marketing. It is definitely
one of those things where marketing in China is like becoming a new sort of term. And so I've been looking into this lately. It's just that marketing, usually things just kind of sold themselves by looking like something else, right? Everything, it looks like a theme park. So the fact that it looks like a theme park, people will buy tickets and go. But now there's this new game, like the kind of like the introduction of capitalism and marketing competition that is all kind of new to the region in China, means that parks, and that's a really big problem, have to advertise themselves. And only those that really have aggressive marketing know how to do that and have the budget for it. Those are the parks that are shining. And there's parks like Wuchi Sunak, for example. Fantastic, complete product. We had the greatest time. One of the best dark rides in the world is at Wuchi Sunak. But they just don't know how to market themselves. And so these parks don't get the revenue.
The Sunak parks are sensational. And for a product that could just as easily have been cut and paste in all of the different regions, which is a bit more like what Happy Valley's business model was. The Sunak parks are remarkably unique to each other. And even though
Happy Valley is like the Six Flags chain, and then like Sunak is like the Cedar Fair chain.
Yeah.
Like there's brand consistency, but not copy and paste. Where Six Flags will copy and paste everything.
Yeah, there are Happy Valley parks that are of none of our concern because they lack anything unique.
But you can see Happy Valley's response to it, though, because Happy Valley in Nanjing opened this year, and it looks like a Sunak park. Because they completely themed it.
So, the Sunak... in conclusion, the Sunak parks are great, and I feel like Guangzhou Sunak has so much potential, and we expect them to succeed, and we do plan to return for a little unfinished business with their coasters, and to just see the park in a better light. Under the assumption that, like, with the metro station and stuff and some of the changes that they've made to attract the locals have worked.
And speaking of seeing another park and better light than the next visit around, my last park is Universal Studios Japan. We love the park for what it has to offer. We love the park what it has to offer. It has one of the most amazing single gate lineups in the world. Stellar roller coasters, stellar dark rides, awesome theming. Operations, however, were very, very Japanese. To be honest, the operations just really weren't strong. The lines were ridiculous. They were running 2 trains on their marquee roller coaster that literally had lines of 4.5 hours. It was one of those things where like it was almost inexcusable for a park with that attendance and that name to be running an operation they did. And I remember it really detracting because we just kept having to buy more fast pass, more express passes.
Yeah.
And we just spent eventually over $300 additional dollars on top of our ticket that we had already prepaid for and our prepaid express pass just to get on all the rides and actually have a decent time without having to wait all day.
Yeah, that park is handily the most expensive theme park experience.
And like merch and food was super expensive. So that kind of was a detractor.
And would it be cheaper to go 2 days with maybe a few express passes or just 1 day and the most expensive express pass?
So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at here, is that I think that we did it in 1 day. It's part of a tour, but I think that this park is just not a 1 day park. Even if you throw all the fast pass and the roll at it, which costs a lot of money, I think that you don't have enough time to take it in. We were there from like 8 a.m. and it was the Halloween Horror Night event, and we were there till 10 p.m.
Yeah.
We were there
spent
14 hours.
solid hours.
Wow.
At
And
that
we
park.
still had to
and
rush.
we were running. We were operating at a breakneck pace to get
And so,
everything that we wanted.
Part of that is their own fault for not operating properly, in my opinion. But also part of it, the park is just very large. And then we saw the nighttime parade, which is by far the best nighttime parade we've ever seen. It's just like a whole shows on wheels and dinosaurs and all these
Harry Potter.
actors
It's just
and
the
Harry
best
Potter.
parade, period. Yeah.
It was outstanding.
So like they have what you get, you still get what you pay for with USJ, but damn, like
if
it's
someone
not,
that like if you travel across the globe for it, and you want to experience everything. It's not like you live there, you just come back, or you're unknowingly
we got
just
lucky
hitting up
with
what
some
you feel.
stuff. Like their single rider line system. They have a very popular single rider culture there. Sometimes the single rider line shows to be almost as long as a regular standby line, but they overestimate a lot of their queue lengths and stuff. So like we got more rides on like Flying Dinosaur than we expected because we were able to ride it twice in the same window of time that we had budgeted for one re-ride because of how long the lines were projected.
I would still say that like if you can get everything by using a single ride line, it's still not the perfect theme park day out. Because if you travel the world with your significant
we got
other,
lucky. Like we rode Jaws. We weren't gonna ride Jaws, but because it had over an hour wait. But we were like, okay, well we'll single rider it because Sean had never been on any iteration of Jaws except for the studio tour in Hollywood. And I hadn't ridden the Orlando version since 2006. We got seated next to each other, even though we were single riders. So like we got really lucky in that moment. But then we thought about it. We're like, this is kind of a crazy system. There just seems to be room for improvement in the whole operation people placement spectrum for that park, and especially when you're one of the top 5 attended theme parks in the world. Like, so there's just room for improvement that we expect to see, and we look forward to going back.
And if that wasn't enough, they added Super Mario World.
Exactly. Which obviously I'm really excited for that, though. I've heard very mixed things, so I'm not getting my hopes up.
Cautiously optimistic.
Not getting my hopes up. We've seen the Yoshi ride, of course, because it was leaked. We haven't seen Mario Kart, but we've just heard
We're hearing tepid reviews.
So I'm going to keep my expectations incredibly low, and if they are blown. But that's not my reason, honestly, mainly for going back there, because I just want to be able to enjoy the park this time around, not feel pressured. Yeah. And sometimes your first time around doing something, you want to get everything in. It's not just Critter Run, it's just like Dark Ride Run, too. And I think going back to parks like that, it's like, wow, this time I can like breathe in and do what I really liked and explore the new things. And they have a great foundation, polished, high quality, very expensive, but like very, very high quality theme park. And now I just want to be able to just enjoy that.
And you know what's crazy? I mean, like we there was some stuff that we time budgeted to re-ride. Like we rode Spider-Man 4 times, I think.
But I was also to have a line because it was like in the corner, was no line and like the parade held everyone up, so we just.
But there was attractions there that we didn't ride because we have clones of them in the U.S. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, if you've never been to a Universal park. And you were going to USJ.
The park really feels like it was meant to be 2 gates, but
because
then they just didn't have the space for 2 gates.
Despicable Me is one of their most popular, newest attractions, and we're like, thank God we have this exact attraction in Orlando. We didn't have to blow 90 minutes. And they have Backdraft still, which is a Hollywood favorite. I'm like, well, we know what Backdraft is.
Waterworld, same thing.
Like we didn't do Waterworld.
Backdraft is a giant indoor demonstration, special effects demonstration that focuses on fire. So the movie Backdraft was about, I think, a Chicago skyscraper
Chicago,
on fire.
yeah.
And then, like, the thing Backdraft is when, like, air seeps from, like, kind of like a vacuum. And then if you open that space up, all the flames or fire will, like, blow in that direction. That's a Backdraft.
Okay.
So it's just like a giant bunch of fire.
In
Really.
the same vein as Earthquake.
Yeah, Hollywood had one.
And so
Backdraft.
it was very... It's a neat thing that they have, but it was something where I'm like,
They still had Terminator, we didn't do it.
Yeah,
didn't have time.
like we're not budgeting time for this because we
And
have
then
to.
their spinning coaster, the Max spinning coaster, Space Fantasy, it was running locked without spinning with VR mode,
Yeah.
which really kind of blew.
They do a lot
Yeah.
of VR stuff.
So I would love to catch that park when like Space Fantasy runs like Space Fantasy and actually rotates.
Yeah, so
But yeah, we're already coming on to our new length of episode, exactly 1 hour at this moment. So we are going
gonna
to
button it up.
We're gonna wrap it up. So thank you guys so much for listening to the first episode of season 3. Super exciting. Hopefully you enjoyed our look back at these 9 parks and why we would like to revisit. Another thing I'd like for you to do is to go to Apple Podcasts if you're listening on Apple and give us a review, preferably a good one, because that will help us rank better. And then share your podcast with your friends and family. Check us out on Discord. If you just go to the website, thecoasterkings.com, there is a Discord button right there in the menu. Click that and join us for a fun chat with the team and anything coaster and theme park related. And the same menu, you can also find our shop Coaster Kings. If you want to get any theme park merch and support your favorite coaster brand, if I may say so. And that's that. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you guys in season 2. I mean, episode 2. Episode 2. Also,
so
if you haven't
episode.
listened to season 2, go ahead and listen to it because I think season 2 is great.
Season 2 is great. Listen to season 1 and season 2, and then catch us on episode 2 of season 3.
Yeah.
And that's that. Bye.
That's the T. Bye.
Goodbye.